Number 1. Literal crystals in your feet. Imagine waking up and feeling like someone has shoved broken glass into your big toe. Not metaphorically, literally, like stepping on a Lego made of razors. That's gout. It doesn't gently tap on the door of your pain receptors. It busts in, throws glittering crystals around your joints, and throws a party your immune system wasn't invited to. Gout happens when your body has too much uric acid floating around in your blood. Normally, this stuff gets filtered out by your kidneys and ends up in your pee where it belongs. But if there's too much uric acid, or your kidneys are being lazy little filters, it starts to crystallize, not in a cool geode in a rock way. No, these are needle-shaped crystals that pile up in your joints, especially your toes, because apparently your feet are the default dumping ground for your biochemical bad decisions. Your immune system sees these sharp little acid shards and goes into full "this is fine" denial before realizing, oh no, this is very much not fine. It sends white blood cells to the scene and boom, inflammation, swelling, pain that makes childbirth look like a polite suggestion. Here's the creepy kicker. You can go to bed totally fine and wake up feeling like your toe got mugged. No warning, no prep, just boom, Crystalpocalypse 2025. So yeah, gout is not just a weird foot thing your grandpa complained about. It's your body trying to preserve ancient mineral wealth inside your bones like it's prepping for the apocalypse. Basically, your blood chemistry turned into Minecraft and your joints are paying the price.
Number 2. The rich man's curse. So why the royal nickname? Why is gout called the rich man's curse? Well, it turns out gout has been name-dropping wealth and power since ancient times, like ancient Greece times. For centuries, gout was seen as a luxury disease because it showed up mostly in people who had access to rich foods, expensive booze, and endless feasts. Think kings, dukes, lords, and anyone whose idea of a snack involved meat wrapped in more meat. Meanwhile, the peasants were too busy starving and walking 12 miles a day to build up enough uric acid to crystallize anything. In the 17th and 18th centuries, having gout was low-key a flex. It meant you were rich enough to destroy your own body with excess. Some even considered it a sign of intelligence and sophistication because apparently nothing screams genius like swollen ankles and agony. Famous gout sufferers? Oh, just Benjamin Franklin, Leonardo da Vinci, and pretty much every British monarch with a powdered wig and a wine addiction. If you didn't have gout, were you even trying to be aristocratic? Fast forward to today, and surprise, gout is no longer just a problem for people who live like Henry VIII. Thanks to the modern diet, hello, processed meats and soda, the rich man's curse is now more of a democratic disaster. You don't need a castle anymore, just a fast food combo and a couch. In other words, gout went from royal to relatable real quickly.
Number 3. Fructose, your sweet, sneaky enemy. All right, time to throw some shade at sugar. More specifically, fructose, that sweet little molecule lurking in everything from soda to healthy fruit juice. Yeah, it's a gout grenade wrapped in candy. Here's the deal. When your body breaks down fructose, it burns through ATP, the energy currency of your cells, and this metabolic chaos spikes uric acid production. And guess what loves high uric acid levels? That's right, gout. It's like giving your joints the red carpet treatment for an all-night crystal rave. But here's the kicker. Most people don't even realize how much fructose they're swimming in. That organic agave nectar, fructose bomb. That low-fat yogurt, probably packed with more sugar than a birthday cake. The irony, while people are out here avoiding red meat because that's what causes gout, they're chugging fruit smoothies thinking they're doing something noble. Meanwhile, their liver is in the back muttering, "I can't keep doing this, Karen." And it's not just sweet stuff. Fructose hides in sauces, dressings, energy bars, basically everything that tastes remotely like fun. Your taste buds are throwing a party, but your joints are prepping for war. So next time you sip a seemingly innocent soft drink, just know, you might be giving your big toe a death sentence. Basically, fructose is the friend who always shows up to the party, gets you arrested, and then vanishes before the cops arrive.
Number 4. Gout attacks like to ghost you. One of the worst things about gout, aside from the wincing, I'm being stabbed in my foot, pain, is how sneakily it behaves.
Gout attacks come and go like an emotionally unavailable ex. One day you're fine, the next day you're limping like you just finished a marathon in flip-flops. Then, poof, it's gone. Relieved. Your toe looks normal again, you're walking without crying, and you start thinking, casual, hey, maybe it was just a weird sprain or something. Spoiler, it wasn't. That was your body quietly waging war on itself and then pretending nothing happened. And here's the creepy part. Just because the pain stops doesn't mean the crystals are gone. They're still there, watching, lurking, plotting their next attack. It's like your immune system negotiated a temporary ceasefire and hoped you'd forget what just happened. That's why untreated gout doesn't just skeptical go away. Serious. It builds up. Over time, those sarcastic pretty little uric acid crystals start forming visible lumps called tophi, disgusted. They're like grotesque snow globes embedded in your joints and emphatic. Yes, they can disfigure your fingers, toes, and even your ears. Cautionary. So the next time someone tells you their gout flared up again, just know they're living in a horror movie where the villain keeps disappearing before anyone else sees it. Concluding. Basically, gout is the Jason Voorhees of diseases, silent, painful, and always coming back for a sequel.
Number 5. Your kidneys are kind of the villain. Okay, real talk. Your kidneys are usually the unsung heroes of your body. They filter your blood 24/7 without demanding a thank you card. But when it comes to gout, yeah, they might be low-key the problem. See, about 2/3 of the uric acid in your body is supposed to exit stage left through your kidneys. But if your kidneys decide to slack off, whether from genetics, dehydration, or just having a bad day, uric acid levels start climbing like they're training for Mount Everest. And guess what happens when there's too much? Yep, we're back to Crystal Palooza 2, toe vengeance. Some people just naturally have kidneys that aren't great at excreting uric acid. It's like your internal plumbing is just slightly clogged, and instead of calling a metaphorical roto-rooter, your body just shrugs and lets the acid back up into your bloodstream. Thanks, organs.
Even worse, some medications mess with this process too, like certain diuretics, ironically the ones people take for high blood pressure or kidney issues. So it's not just diet, it's also biology, medicine, hydration, and a sprinkle of genetic sabotage. So yeah, next time someone smugly says, just stop eating red meat, feel free to let them know your kidneys are staging a silent protest and there's nothing a salad can do about it. Basically, your kidneys are that unreliable roommate who leaves dishes in the sink and says, I thought you were handling that.
Number 6. Beer, the ultimate gout trap. You know what's worse than sugar when it comes to gout? Beer. Yes, the beloved bubbly brew that turns barbecues into bonding sessions is also a uric acid time bomb, but not for the reason you think. Most people assume alcohol equals dehydration equals gout, which is partly true, but beer's real villainy comes from purines. These are organic compounds your body breaks down into uric acid, and guess what beer is loaded with? That's right, purines. But wait, it gets worse. Alcohol in general slows down kidney function, which means the uric acid you already had is now just chilling in your blood like it owns the place. So not only is beer adding uric acid to the mix, it's also trapping the stuff that was trying to leave. Wine isn't much better, by the way. Liquor can be slightly less evil, but once you hit party mode levels, it's all downhill from there. And before anyone says, but the ancient monks drank beer and were fine. Nope, many monks had gout. In fact, it was sometimes nicknamed the monk's disease, which is hilarious when you realize they were just brewing their own doom in the abbey basement. So yeah, beer might be your weekend buddy, but to your joints, it's the charming stranger who sets your house on fire and walks away whistling. Basically, beer is the ex you keep going back to, even though it keeps stealing your stuff and lighting your foot on fire. Number 7. Gout was once a status symbol. Let's go back a little to when having gout wasn't a medical issue. It was the flex. That's right. People used to brag about it. Like, oh, your peasant knees work fine? Can't relate. I've got gout. In the 1700s, gout wasn't just common in royalty. It was romanticized. Pain was seen as a sign of refinement. Being sick from overindulgence? That meant you had things to indulge in. Writers, artists, and philosophers all waxed poetic about their inflamed joints, as if being in agony made them more cultured. Doctors even believed that gout protected you from worse diseases, like it was some kind of noble guardian angel made of pain and crystals. Some treatments even aimed to keep a mild case of gout going.
because it was thought to stimulate the blood. That's right. People were out here treating gout like a health boost. And the fashion industry? Oh, it adapted. Shoes with extra space for swollen feet became a thing. Fancy walking sticks doubled as status symbols and crutches. Having a limp wasn't tragic, it was trendy. Of course, now we know that gout is a serious chronic condition that can wreck your joints, your kidneys, and your general will to live. But history reminds us, never underestimate humanity's ability to glamorize suffering. Basically, gout was the 18th century equivalent of Instagramming your hospital bracelet with the caption, #blessed.
Number 8. The silent buildup. Here's the really disturbing part about gout. It doesn't start when the pain does. Gout brews in the background, like a villain in a slow-burn horror movie. You might not have any symptoms at all while uric acid quietly builds up in your blood for years. And it's not just your big toe at risk. Gout can hit your knees, fingers, elbows, and even your spine. The silent crystal buildup doesn't discriminate. It just waits until your immune system gets bored and decides to flip the pain switch. By the time the average person takes it seriously, permanent joint damage might already be in progress. So even if the pain goes away, the problem doesn't. Basically, gout is like having termites in your bones. Dramatic. You don't notice until the floor collapses under you.
Number 9. Tophi, the body's creepy crystal collection. If you thought gout was just a sometimes toe thing, buckle up, because when it sticks around long enough, your body starts developing something called tophi, and they are as gross as they sound. Tophi are big, lumpy deposits of uric acid crystals that form under the skin, usually around joints like your fingers, toes, elbows, or even ears. Yep, you heard that right. You could grow ear lumps made of acid rocks just from ignoring your gout. They start off small, like little squishy nodules, and then slowly turn into hardened, chalky mounds that are basically your body's way of saying, you didn't fix the problem, so here's a bonus level of discomfort. Imagine collecting painful, bony trophy sex ep. The only game you were playing was ignore my health until it screams. They're not just unsightly. These little monsters can erode bone, mess with joint movement, and even burst open, leaking a white paste made of, you guessed it, crystallized uric acid. Like your body is auditioning for a horror movie but skipped makeup and went straight to gross out practical effects. And here's the worst part. Tophi don't usually show up until years after repeated gout attacks, which means if you're seeing them, the internal damage is already pretty serious. It's like your body finally gave up on subtle hints and went full 3D announcement. Basically, tophi are your joints screaming, I warned you, bro. Gout can wreck more than joints. Most people think of gout as a joint disease. You know, some swollen toe drama, maybe a funny walk. End of story. But that's only scratching the surface. Gout's real ambition? Total systemic chaos. See, all that excess uric acid floating around doesn't just stop at your toes. It's like a bored teenager it starts exploring. Studies have linked chronic gout to a bunch of other not-so-fun conditions like high blood pressure, kidney disease, heart attacks, and even strokes. Why? Because uric acid is an inflammatory trigger, and chronic inflammation is basically the villain origin story behind half of modern health problems. Gout's not just stabbing your joints, it's throwing molecular tantrums throughout your entire body. Kidneys, for example, are a favorite target. Repeated gout flare-ups can lead to uric acid crystals forming inside your kidneys. That's right, inside your kidneys. Not content to destroy your ability to walk, gout wants to mess with your ability to filter your blood too. And if your kidneys get damaged, well, that means even less uric acid gets filtered out, which means, yep, more gout. It's a vicious, stupid cycle, like arguing with a toddler holding a lighter and a can of gasoline. Basically, gout is that one friend who ruins every party and then sticks around to eat all your snacks and burn your house down. Number 11. Gout isn't just for old people. Here's a fun lie. Gout is something only old men get. Nope, not anymore. Thanks to modern diets, sedentary lifestyles, and the magical invention of soda, gout has been making house calls on people in their 20s and 30s. Yep, even gym bros and office workers are getting hit. The problem is that uric acid levels don't really care about your age. If your lifestyle includes a steady stream of processed food, sugary drinks, craft beer, or just bad genetics, you're on the guest list. And younger people often ignore early symptoms, writing it off as a twisted ankle, or a weird bruise. By the time they realize it's gout, the crystals are already organizing themselves into a HOA inside their joints. It's also showing up more in women, especially after menopause, when estrogenone of the hormones that helps keep uric acid in check starts to drop. So yeah, ladies aren't off the hook either. Gout is an equal opportunity paying gremlin now. Basically, if you have joints in a fridge, you're eligible. Number 12. The cure is kinda boring. Okay, so after all that horror, what's the fix? Can you actually cure gout? Well, kind of. The good news is, gout is treatable. The bad news? It requires something most people hate: consistency. No dramatic surgery, no miracle juice, no ancient Tibetan goat yoga. Just boring, unsexy changes like taking daily meds like allopurinol to reduce uric acid, drinking water like your life depends on it, because it does, eating less red meat, sugar, and purine-heavy stuff, moving your body more than a sloth does. It's not flashy, it's not viral, but it works. And if you actually stick with it, your uric acid levels drop, your gout attacks vanish, and the creepy toe crystals, they can shrink. Sometimes even disappear. But here's the catch. The second you start feeling better, your brain will be like, cool, we're done here. And that's exactly when gout strikes again, like a petty villain who can't stand being ignored. So yeah, the cure is real, but only if you treat it like a long-term relationship, not a summer fling. Basically, beating gout means becoming the kind of person who drinks water, goes on walks, and says no thanks to that third beer. Horrifying, I know,